Everyone has looked at their car at least once and thought, what if I make it better? And what their tuning begins. Today I'll tell you where this culture actually started, what types of tuning exist, how it has changed over the years, and much more. I hope that after this video you will discover something new, or maybe even start looking at tuning from a completely different angle. If you search online, tuning is described as any modification of a stock vehicle, but let's dig deeper and see how it all began. Already in the 19th century, people made the first modification to early automobiles. Of course, it looked nothing like what we call tuning today. But still, the idea was there. More serious modification began with the rise of motorsport. Since building fully custom race cars was very expensive, teams would squeeze the maximum out of regular production models. Tuning became especially popular in the 1950s, when the United States saw the birth of drag racing, quarter-mile straight-line racing. To win, engines had to seriously upgrade it to maximum horsepower. Exterior changes followed too. But I believe the biggest influence came from other side of the world, Japan. Their wave of street racing hit in the 1970s, and that's also where drifting was invented, a controlled slide that has now become an official and incredibly spectacular motorsport. Body kits and mods from Japan were absolutely insane. Tuning reached Europe a bit later, even though cars themselves originated here. European tuning was more conservative, less flashy, but often superior in handling. Around this time, tuning shops started popping up, offering paid upgrades for your car. The next key stage came in the 1990s, when automakers released many legendary models: Toyota Supra, Nissan Skyline, Mazda RX-7, Volkswagen Jetta, BMW F36, and others. Cars that later appeared in Fast and Furious and in Need for Speed games. This era can truly be considered the golden age of tuning. The number of car enthusiasts skyrocketed, and no wonder. Almost everyone who played these racing games or watched those movies dreamed of building a crazy real-life version of those cars. Today, although the tuning community continues to grow, new challenges have appeared. Since the 2010s, eco-regulations and various restrictions have taken over, especially affecting the exhaust systems. Installing a straight pipe just because is no longer that easy. Another factor is the huge amount of electronics in modern cars. Manufacturers spec them with sensors, meaning serious tuning now requires real engineering knowledge, not just a pair of skilled hands. And to make things worse, legendary models are slowly disappearing, replaced by heavy crossovers instead of sharp coupes. But I'm sure this is far from the end. As long as there's demand, there will be supply. Let's not dwell on history for too long. The next topic is just as important. Generally, tuning can be divided into three large categories: increasing power and speed, improving handling, customizing exterior and interior. Of course, this overlap. For example, a body kit can also be aerodynamic, but overall these are separate areas. Power upgrades include chip tuning, modifying the engine software. It increases power, torque and throttle response. Turbochargers and superchargers, these are components that forcibly push air into the engine. A much more serious power increase. Deep tuning that completely changes the character of the car. Exhaust upgrades, catbacks, straight pipes, etc. They improve exhaust flow, sound and performance. To improve the power-to-weight ratio, the car can also be lightened by removing seats, sound insulation and so on. This also has a positive effect on handling. Engine swaps, replacing the engine entirely together with the drivetrain upgrades. Nitrous oxide gives a short, powerful boost, more common in games and movies than on real roads. When increasing power, you mustn't forget about the parts what transmit it, the transmission, drive shafts and wheels. Weak stock components can be failed, and good tires are essential for transferring power to the road. Handling improvements include suspension upgrades, lowering coilovers, diff stabilizers, etc. This drastically changes cornering behavior. Brake upgrades, bigger discs, performance pads, weak brakes force earlier braking and increase accident risk. Affect both traction and handling. Drivetrain choice. All-wheel drive is the most stable, rear-wheel drive is fun and ideal for drifting, and front-wheel drive is often the best for a limited budget and can perform extremely well on track. Exterior tuning includes making the car unique. Body kits, paintwork, vinyls, wheels, lighting, interior mods like steering wheels or re-upholstered seats. There is a fine line between style and tacky, but I recommend doing what you like, not what others expect. A car's appearance often reveals which style it belongs to. Here are several major tuning cultures you definitely should know. Stance. Very low suspension, wheels with negative camber, stretched tires. GDM. Cars originally made for the Japanese market, often drift-oriented. Lightweight wheels, light fitment, simple but aggressive body kits. Off-road, lifted suspension, mud tires, winches, metal bumpers, roof racks, style plus functionality. Lowrider, an American culture, hydraulic suspension, cars can jump, chrome, custom paint and interiors. Sleeper, a wolf in sheep's clothing, ordinary exterior with maximum power and sight. European style, premium German cars kept almost stock, looking like just rolled off the assembly line. Bosozoku, a Japanese style with exaggeratedly extended exhaust, massive and wild aero parts. Hot rod styles, street rod, focus on performance with minimal exterior changes. Lead style, extremely low, shiny paint, lots of chrome. Chop top, older 30s, 40s hot rods with lowered quarter-off roofs. Red style, mechanically restored cars with anciently worn, rusty aged exteriors.
Please stop. You crazy?
Put on my shit, I won't love it. I see that, I say gon' book it. She riding that dick like she boogie.
This is the biggest drift event in Europe, called Drift Masters GP.
Well, I see little bitch, I'm dirty. Still, I just did it straight my lady. Still, pull me an 8, I'm straight, I'm goody.
Few words about tuning culture here in Latvia. It's a real mix of German, Japanese and American influences. Science motorsport strongly affects street culture, and Latvia has a very active drifting scene, both international and Baltic competitions. Local tuning is heavily drift oriented. Shops like HGK not only build drift cars but also produce tuning parts. Drift cars can often be seen at car meets, festivals and track days. Communities like Latvia styled culture and others played a big role in developing the scene. Each city has its own organizers. For example, one more meet in Liepāja and rolling team in Daugavpils. They create events where car enthusiasts gather. And of course, the big car expo in Tipsala. I've shown it in one of my videos. You can see some of the best and most unique projects there. As for the cars themselves, BMW E-Series dominates here. The most common project car is the E46, but E36, E60, E90 and others are also very popular. There are tons of ready-made solutions for this. Suspension, kit, swaps, anything you want. But of course, some people build completely unique projects too. Our technical inspection is fortunately less strict than in Germany, but we still have some parts that must be removed or changed before inspection. You've probably heard of tuning houses like Brabus and Mansory, the peak of the premium segment. Brabus focuses on performance and technology, while Mansory is known for wild styling and exotic materials. But there are many others well-known companies worth mentioning. For example, Liberty Wool, one of the most iconic tuning brands in the world. Their wide-body kits are instantly recognizable. They worked on everything from the Lamborghini Murcielago to the BMW M4, and you can buy their kits online and install them yourself. There are also brand-specific tuners: AMG for Mercedes, Alpina for BMW, Shelby for Ford, Nismo for Nissan, TRD for Toyota, SRT for Dodge and Chrysler, and more. Here is a simple breakdown of how tuning projects are usually built. First of all, choose the right car. Depends on your goals: sound, acceleration, handling or style. The car should match your vision and budget. Second, diagnostics. Before investing, check the car's conditions. Pick weak spots, leaks, errors, otherwise they may ruin your project later. Choose parts and find specialists. Decide what you need, where to buy and who will install it if you are not doing it yourself. Next is installation and tuning. Everything must be installed and calibrated properly, especially suspension, exhaust or power upgrades. And the last one, test drive and inspection. Check how the car behaves, whether there are noises, issues, leaks. After tuning, maintenance rules often change too. Newcomers often make mistakes like saving money on important parts, installing modifications just to have them, forgetting about future inspection or stock component limits, rushing the build, choosing impractical customization, for example bucket seats and ultra-low ride height on a daily driver, and voiding warranty on newer cars. Here are a few practical project ideas. Entry level, up to 2,500 euros to the car plus 1,000 euro in mods. BMW E36 with 1.8 2.0 engine for drifting, install coilovers, budget wheels and a welded diff. For front-wheel drive, MK5 Golf 1.6 with exterior mods, many body kits exist, the engine is reliable and tunable. Mid-budget, up to 10,000 euros. MK5 or MK6 Golf GTI tuned to 260-320 horsepower. There are ready-made upgrade guides, and with its weight, the GTI can outrun many sports cars. 20,000 euros and above. At this point you are almost free to build whatever you want. Any style, any power, any purpose. Every project is a story of its owner, their mistakes, victories, dreams and personality. I hope this video was useful for you, but you learned something new and maybe even got inspired. Build your project and don't be afraid to start.